This is a city of majesty. The unexpected maverick of the Midwest. Where kings held court. Where monarchs rise. Where the kingdom comes. No matter what. Showing up, holding up, sporting in this town where royalty has been tested and kings have been crowned. It's Kansas City. It's 2024. It's time for a pitch fit for a queen.
Thanks so much for tuning in as the Current. Just 2 games left in the regular season, including tonight. It's their home finale.
Hey.
The next home game will be in the team's new state-of-the-art Riverfront Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri.
It's going to be nice to have it. It's our own. We don't have to rent from anybody. We now own a house.
How's it going, Kendra?
It's his first game.
So it's a great way to go out on the home front.
Squadron 134. Okay.
Thank you.
The fans are in here, packed in, all the energy.
We're just moments away from kickoff. Again, a new record attendance, more than 15,000 here tonight for the home finale.
Let's go, KC! There's no city like Kansas City. When we root for the Current.
And we're underway here at Children's Mercy Park.
Casey till I die, Casey till I die. I know I am, I swear I am. I'm Casey till I die, Casey till I die, Casey till I die. I know I am, I swear I am. I'm Casey till I die.
It's going to be controlled by Kansas City. Debinha, what a pass and what a goal! Unbelievable pass by Debinha. And that was Izzy Rodriguez with another goal, her 3rd of the season in the 14th minute, and the Current have an early 1-0 lead.
That was just the beginning of an electric send-off to a bright future. You're watching KMBC 9 Chronicle, a pitch fit for a queen. I'm Donna Pittman.
And I'm Jamie Weiss. We're looking ahead to the future of the Kansas City Current here at their new home CPKC Stadium built along the Missouri River.
First, we want to take you back to where the team got its start as we look toward the future.
Women's soccer is not new to Kansas City. There is a new team,
Casey, baby!
new ownership, and a new home built just for these athletes. CPKC Stadium, named for Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railways, is the first stadium created for a professional women's sports team in the world. But back to the beginning, in 2013.
Let the NWSL begin.
We got the very first NWSL game here in Kansas City. Our forward, Renee Cuellar, scored the very first NWSL goal. So there's a lot of history with the NWSL and Kansas City. I can tell you big moments.
Kat McIntyre is the unofficial historian of women's soccer in Kansas City.
Signed by Lauren Holiday.
Her storage bin,
This is what I call our cheese cow era.
a treasure trove of memorabilia.
There was this huge energy from the 2012 Olympics, and there was no league to come back to. So we were all anxiously waiting, and when they announced the league in the fall, I really honestly had no idea that Kansas City was getting a team or that they would even be up for a team.
FC Kansas City was the first football club to bring professional women's soccer to the Metro.
This jersey here is from the first season. It was my very first FC Kansas City jersey.
Kat was all in. She founded the KC Blue Crew to support the FC Kansas City Blues. The Blue Crew, the first supporters group for a women's team in KC.
Never say fan club. Just because people, so in soccer, fans and supporters are different. Supporters groups create atmosphere.
Katrina Hawkins joined the Blue Crew in 2017.
So, yeah, I have a lot.
Late 80s soccer star to present-day mama 4, her passion for competition has never changed.
I did not even know that there was a professional women's team in the Kansas City area, and which is, to me, still mystifying, because if anybody would have known, it would have been me. I literally grew up since I was little playing against my brothers and his friends, and I played all through college, and so I love soccer.
One of the Shawnee Mission high schools is where we played our games, and the very first game, sold out crowd, right? So I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is gonna be amazing. We're gonna have so many people at these games. You know, the Sporting Kansas City fans showed up, the band for Sporting Kansas City showed up, and I was just thinking, wow, this is it. This is amazing.
But that early momentum didn't last.
Then the next game came, and there were hardly any fans. I think it was just myself in the supporter section, maybe a few other people. And it really just continued from there as far as, crowd size and things like that, which was very disheartening. I think it had a lot to do with locations of where the games were played. There was no alcohol allowed. Then we moved to UMKC the second season, much better facilities, and I felt like environment and location.
Despite the changes, the team brought home the national title in 2014.
FC Kansas City has defended their title!
And 2015. But even then,
there wasn't a lot of effort put into promoting the team once they were here. I think the most excited I got is when I ordered a Domino's pizza, like year 6 or 7, and on my Domino's pizza box was a flyer for FC Kansas City, and I was like, this is amazing! Everybody who orders a pizza is gonna hear about FC Kansas City.
But they didn't. At the end of the 2017 season, the team moved to Utah under new ownership.
It felt like Kansas City had let the players down to me, and that was a big loss for us. It was very emotional.
In 2019, the U.S. women's national team dominated every match and won it all. Half a world away, Kansas City-based investment bankers and married couple Chris and Angie Long found themselves in Paris watching the Women's World Cup.
Right when we got back, we all of a sudden, a lot of things just came together, knowing Kansas City is a great sports market. So it was like this triangulation of ideas, and then we started work on it immediately thereafter.
And getting others on board, not a problem. They teamed up with Brittany Mahomes, wife of Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, and a former soccer star in her own right.
We were moving at such a quick pace, and we had so much to accomplish so quickly. And it literally, our goal was, we cannot let this city down.
I remember the day like it was yesterday, because I was so excited, so overwhelmed. But I was also worried, because I was like, we have to do this, right? We can't lose them again.
Jump to the spring of 2021. Professional women's soccer was officially back in Kansas City. The newly named Kansas City Current premiered not on a pitch, but a diamond, Legends Field.
When I found out that there was going to be a new team, I told my husband, we're going all in, season tickets, I'm going to join the supporters group, all this.
Katrina didn't just join.
Actually, this is what I should show you.
But led the group, growing it from a few fans to 300 strong, making their presence known. With each drum beat.
Everybody! I think if you talk to any female athlete, specifically soccer players that are my age, we've been waiting for this. We've wanted it for a really, really long time. And it sometimes probably felt like it was never going to happen.
3, 2, 1.
And then they take it even further, and they build us our own stadium, which is the first in the world for women's sports, built for women. our training facility, just every single thing that they've done, they've stepped it up, right? And as a Kansas Cityan, that has made me incredibly proud.
The mindset was always, oh, you know what, let's have women's sports be break even or slightly negative. So with no precedent, people couldn't see what the possible could be. And one of the most amazing things about this is I think we've set the bar and we've shown people what you can do with women's sports and what you could do with investment. And that's going to have ripple effects for a long, long time.
The next chapter in professional women's sports is open. A city that once struggled to embrace female athletes, now turning the page on how women are seen, giving support that will keep flowing.
Ahead on KMBC 9 Chronicle.
Quick, play. Good.
It's where soccer stars are born.
Let's get bigger.
Right now, they're just learning the basics.
You have to be able to not use your hands.
But these small girls,
all right, play,
have big dreams.
I want to be a professional soccer player when I grow up.
I saw it all. I felt it all.
No one understands that summit quite like Michelle Akers, a two-time world champion, Olympic gold medalist, and FIFA Player of the Century. The path forward she sees at CPKC Stadium.
Like, yes, it's for my team.
The current 1-0 lead as we're about to hit the 20th minute.
It's just so great to know that, these powerful and beautiful and amazing women almost are, we're making a stand for other women leagues and teams. Let's go!
I just thought it would be cool for them to be a part of history and get to see the Current open the new stadium and be a part of it.
We just need to get it out of this corner.
I don't think they know the significance of it now, but one day they will, and I think that's really cool.
I mean, they've got their own pro soccer girls right here in their own town. But it's been huge for equity and inclusion. Huge.
It's a lot of fun. I've never seen professional women, so this is really cool.
Come on, clear it. Let's go. Oh, I think she's open. It is a little bit nostalgic. I would say that, but I'm just so excited for the new stadium.
I think it's amazing, especially for women, just representing that. I think it's so cool.
Oh my gosh, that was close.
We chose. We went to all different games and we chose women's soccer because these women are tough. These women are tough and awesome, so I think it's great.
Welcome back to KMBC 9 Chronicle. The journey to this moment here at CPKC Stadium bridges the gap between generations of athletes.
Young girls just getting their footing on the pitch, following in the footsteps set for them decades ago.
Quick drink if you need one. All the balls outside.
Inside Olathe's home field.
Okay, we got blue versus yellow. Let's go blue right here on this side. Let's go yellow here. Play.
Girls are on the turf in training.
Freeze here.
And they are unstoppable.
Finish. Nice.
This is the scissor where you go around with the ball and you kick it the other way.
Being out on the pitch on game day.
It's like butterflies in your stomach, kind of.
Every emotion.
Maybe scared or excited.
Their dreams, big.
I want to be a professional soccer, and once I get old enough and I retire from soccer, I'm going to be a soccer coach. I want to be a professional soccer player when I grow up.
30 years ago, we might have thought, how cute. And no way. But someone made a way.
Americans like winning teams, and right now we've started the tradition, so hopefully the men can follow.
Arguably, in women's soccer, she's the greatest of all time, Michelle Akers. On the first U.S. women's national team in 1985, Olympic gold medalist in 96, a first. Akers played in the first FIFA Women's World Cup in 91, 95, and 99. 3 years later, she was named FIFA Female Player of the Century.
It's the beautiful game. It's like what Pelé said. It's the beautiful game. It's in so many ways. It hit me in every area of who I was.
It wasn't all easy.
They put me in as goalkeeper because I was just fearless and competitive and scrappy, and then we lost every single game, 9-0, and so I cried after every game. It was like horrible, worst experience.
The losing part, then it was out of the net and on to more wins.
That coach recognized, what the hell is she doing in goal? No, she's not a goalkeeper. Put her in the middle of the field and let her run, right? So then that was where I really fell in love with it.
A new position on the pitch, Michelle came across a new challenge off the pitch. The first female soccer player with the shoe deal, Akers had to fight to wear the shoes she was the face of.
I said, well, I'm wearing my Umbro shoes now. And so U.S. Soccer tried to say, no, you can't. You have to wear these other shoes. And I was like, no. So it became a whole thing. But ultimately, it changed everything.
More work needed to be done.
The president of FIFA was saying that he wanted women in shorter shorts and going for the sex appeal, and we're going to have a size 4 ball for women because women couldn't possibly kick a size 5 ball, which is the normal size for adults.
A woman in professional soccer surrounded by men making decisions, and it wasn't just the people on the inside.
I had reporters and media asking me, is my husband okay with me playing? Oh. Yeah, and how does this affect my menstrual cycle? And can you have babies?
What Akers could do and was compelled to do, stand up and step up.
For a female athlete, you have to fight for the equality issue, and play. And you have to win all the World Cups and every Olympic gold medal.
Akers did her part, then others were there to receive the pass, carrying on Michelle's fight for equality in soccer.
This is just such a monumental step forward.
In February of 2022, women finally reached an agreement to be paid the same as men in soccer doing the same job. That monumental moment, overwhelming.
It was just like a wave of emotion, like sadness and immense joy and celebration, relief, just exhilaration and pride, and then I got pissed. I was like, what the hell? What the hell? Because why did it take so long? Why is this so hard?
Still seeing this, CPKC Stadium, the first in the world built especially for a women's professional sports team, the KC Current.
This is going to ripple effects all over the world.
Akers knows everything. Even those losses were worth this win.
It's the visual representation and the physical location of the first stake in the ground dedicated to women's soccer.
While it's hard for the little ones to truly get the magnitude of this moment,
what's the purpose of our forward staying up there? Someone to pass to.
These girls understand what's been passed to them, and that the women responsible should be honored in every play.
It's girl power because showing how far they got, and so you can just lead in you can just walk in their footsteps, so it can be easier. You don't want to just throw all their hard work away and just forget about it. You want to use it, take your chances while you get them.
Akers couldn't agree more.
History has to be remembered and told and felt and relived in current day, because, especially for women, because we have to remember how hard we have worked, how much sacrifice was given.
But she says it can't stop there. It can't stop here with this stadium, with just women, or with women's soccer.
We all have to do it in every way, and then come together to raise the bar and have that mentality that this is a collective issue and a collective empowerment. And don't forget where we came from. This change has to keep going.
Next, on A Pitch Fit for a Queen.
It really shows that if you put your money where your mouth is, people are going to show up.
KC Current fans craft a clear message.
This specific one is kind of to show the start of our journey to our permanent home.
They're all in.
Anyone who knows Kansas City sports fans, we are some of the most passionate fans in the world.
The team has a similar approach.
Thanks for coming out.
You see the signs of support on every street and hidden where you least expect.
Any excuse to play bingo, but especially when we have guests.
They're lending a hand to every generation.
KC, baby.
See the Teal Town tributes ahead on KMBC 9 Chronicle.
Let's go! When Angie and Chris Long started the journey to bring professional women's soccer back to Kansas City, they knew it was important to make an investment in the community. It doesn't take long to see that payout.
Look around town. Teal is not hard to find. From the grocery store.
Do you like soccer? Me too, I love it.
To the hospital. To a senior center.
Nice.
The Kansas City Current women's soccer team has a commitment to be invested in the community.
I've got a top corner here. All right, that's probably good.
The Blue Crew, the supporters group behind the team, have captured that commitment on paper.
Looking good.
Really a tarp, a tifo.
I believe it's an Italian word, or it comes from Italian, and it has to do with being a supporter. So it kind of, when we say tifo, we mean these giant banners that we use to show our support to the team.
The works of art amplify a clear message.
This specific one is kind of to show the start of our journey to our permanent home.
And their president, Katrina Hawkins,
This is a member scarf.
has seen up close how the team has integrated into the community.
But the fact that they're actually bringing in other local businesses and things, I think speaks to, one, their entrepreneurship, but also they want others to be successful as well.
They get front row seats, vendors inside CPKC Stadium. Led by minority and female ownership, they're drinking in the team's success.
Their vision has just always really resonated with us at Boulevard.
Boulevard Brewing Company was quick to form a partnership.
We're just proud to be supporters of the team, and really, most importantly, we're excited to partner with them each season on the release of Teal Rising.
For 4 years running, the proud Pilsner has highlighted a team of leaders.
The team invests 10% of their partnership revenue back into programs that strengthen the Kansas City community. So in that same commitment, Boulevard donates 10% of the proceeds of Teal Rising to Win for KC. And Win for KC's mission is to empower the lives of girls and women by advocating for the power of sports and fitness and leadership.
That power of the Current runs through youth sports over the metro, including at the YMCA of Greater Kansas City.
Watch the goal. When we originally met with the Current, it wasn't just, hey, we want to sponsor a soccer league. It was, how can we help make sure girls are getting outside and being active?
KC Current players are role models, using the game to not only teach the fundamentals of soccer, but to make the sport more accessible.
So their whole vision is they don't really want to push the competitive side of soccer. They just want to see youth athletes being active. So what their whole goal is just to make sure we're getting kids out here learning the game of soccer and having fun.
The partnership provides kids with kits that bear a striking resemblance to the team's uniforms. Hundreds of kids as young as 3 wear teal.
I'm happy to be there, obviously, because I wanted to play soccer for a long time. And then finally I just got to do it. It was a surprise.
Good job.
Kate Mattis is a star shooter and a ball of fun. She plays on the YMCA team, the Lightning. The team is learning to love soccer, just like their coach, William Johnson.
Good job, Kate. They needed a volunteer parent coach, and no one else was able to do it. So I thought, well, I guess it'll be me. I knew nothing about soccer.
And he really means nothing.
Spread out, spread out, spread out. I had bought a video game to play soccer so I could learn the rules. But throughout that process, I became like a really huge fan of the game, and I'm glad that I get to, you know, bond with my kids because as they get better and meet new people and have fun, so it's been a great experience. Keep going, Kate, don't stop.
Johnson's son and daughters all play on the team, but it's more than a family affair. It's a reminder that being invested in a team that invests into you benefits everyone.
When I coached my first season, we went to a current game as like a team outing at the end of the season, and a lot of the players actually wear their jersey that we use in to play, so it just kind of helped deepen that connection. Like something I'm wearing is a part of this, you know, big spectacle going on, so I think that's a really good experience. Go Lazo!
The KC Current's commitment to the community extends past the pitch. Just down the road from their new home, Current players regularly volunteer at the Don Bosco Senior Center. They want to reach every fan.
Ready? The Don Bosco Centers for a long time has been such a staple in the Columbus Park neighborhood. We're just so excited to be a part of this neighborhood, and so we wanted to make sure that we're doing something to celebrate with the residents.
Volunteers with the team share resources, meeting the needs of their senior supporters.
I saw in here earlier a dishwashing liquid, things that will really help them stretch their budget. And for our seniors to know that the KC Current was interested in caring enough for them to bring these goodies that anyone else would take for granted really means a lot.
They're more than just soccer players, just like the seniors here. They all have backstories, so it's really important for us to be able to get to know them.
Above all, it's a commitment to connect, painting the town teal.
Really shows that if you put your money where your mouth is, people are going to show up. And I think this town is doing such a great job to show up, and I think next season is going to be so much more exciting to have a whole stadium built just for us, just for the team. It's really going to put us on the map and show what can be done for women's sports.
Their mission, to carve out a new spot in Kansas City from scratch.
It's just really cool to get out and kick a ball.
It makes me excited for, you know, the little girls that are playing soccer, you know, my daughters and, you know, all the women across, you know, the world who play soccer and, you know, want to experience those things. So I'm excited that, again, that Kansas City is setting the precedence and hope that it continues throughout the country.
They are the minds behind CPKC Stadium.
Finally raising the bar to say women deserve exactly what men have.
Architects, builders, business owners, pioneers, women creating a permanent home for the Kansas City Current.
Here we are, like it's time.
Their work now nestled along the Missouri River, each board, beam, and bolt crafted with a custom touch. This type of dedication to the job is personal.
Mama, it's your stadium.
Hard hats off, we take you inside the offices and the lives of the women leading the build.
It's so gratifying.
On KMBC 9 Chronicle, a pitch fit for a queen.
It's only right to have the Blue Crew lead that chant. Shout out Blue Crew, and all the fans are amazing all year. Let's go, KC!
Forward to Izzy Rodriguez. Now back to Luetta. Crossing midfield again, playing a long ball forward. What a great ball to Debinha in space. Debinha now into the box. One defender is there. Debinha under her right foot. Debinha shoots and scores! What a goal. It's 4-2 Kansas City. Official attendance 15,671, a new record crowd here for the Kansas City Current.
That's incredible!
And more than 4,000 fans more than will fit in the new stadium next year. Unbelievable.
15,000, baby!
That's a team dog right there. That's what I'm talking about. We would not be where we are without you guys. You are the root of this team. You guys are always going to be here. Players are going to come in and out. But we're here
one chapter closes and another one all their own opens up here at CPKC Stadium, built along the historic Berkeley riverfront.
And building this one-of-a-kind stadium was no small feat, but like so many moves in this team's history, it was led by the accomplishments of women.
In what was a shadow of the city, a drive-by, notice nothing lot, there are men and women at work.
Cassie Morrison.
Caitlin Depenning. I'm Courtney Kunkel.
These three builders, boots on the ground, are literally laying the ground for the future.
This is the first stadium built for any women's professional team of any sport in the world.
CPKC Stadium, the new home of the Kansas City Current soccer team. Not just breaking ground, but shattering ceilings in the heart of Kansas City, Missouri.
I actually think it's much bigger than sports. I think what this stadium represents for women is, for all women in all industries, is it really finally raising the bar to say women deserve exactly what men have.
This pioneering pitch sits on a river, symbolic of the stadium's significance. Steady, strong, and current, if not overdue.
It's exciting. It's groundbreaking. It's what women deserve, and it's finally our time. It's past time. It is. It's something we've deserved or women have deserved for a long time, and so it's exciting to know that someone's finally taking that step forward and making that statement and doing the right thing.
The new stadium, a hurdle, but not the first for these women, wearing hard hats in an industry where it can be hard to be female.
I actually have an architecture degree, so I thought I wanted to be an architect, but pretty quickly realized I actually lived overseas my senior year of college and then after college, and pretty quickly realized I probably should have been an engineer.
Uncertain about what she'd do, Courtney Kunkel met a friend with an idea: change course.
It was late 90s, market was booming. I could have worked at any architecture firm just because they needed people. But he introduced me to a construction company, and interestingly enough, it was a woman-owned construction company.
Still, few women were builders.
I probably initially, tried to be rougher and harder, and because I felt like that's what I needed to do to fit in. And when I would go on job sites, they just assume I was the architect or, the interior designer. It was a risk for them. It was a gamble for me to see if that would work out, but they hired me for very little salary, so it was a cheap risk. But we both agreed that after 3 to 6 months, if it was a click, then it would work. Then I could get maybe a better salary.
It clicked. Now Kunkel owns her own construction company, Monarch Build.
I didn't ever really feel like a trailblazer, to be honest. I really felt like I really wanted to blend in. Initially my thought was, okay, I just need to be like them. I need to be like the guys. Eventually, and through my career, I realized, no, my superpower was that I was a woman, that I was different, and that I brought a different perspective to the table than the men did. And so I started wearing hot pink or bright green or whatever, and being bold and just saying, here I am, like, take it or leave it.
They are. Can't remember here, but like the...
About a decade after Kunkel,
I went to school for architectural engineering. I graduated KU in 2008.
Caitlin Depenning says as a female, she wasn't outnumbered in college.
I don't think I ever thought I couldn't do it. I think I was fortunate in college that the architectural engineering program, probably more so than others, had probably about half and half female to male ratio.
On the job, not so much.
My first job out of school was at a firm where I was more like a construction manager, and always the only female in the room. Just kind of had to figure out as a 23-year-old female on a job site how to carry yourself so you're actually heard. 5'6", Northwest restroom since you didn't get it.
As Henderson Engineers project manager for the stadium build, to this day she makes sure her voice is heard. Just 2 weeks after giving birth to twins, she was at a very important meeting about a new history-making stadium project.
When I heard that there was a meeting, and I was at least given the courtesy to know it was happening, even though I was on maternity leave, I didn't take offense. I wanted to be there. It's not the first time a stadium's built, but the reason that it's being built is unique, and that's what really makes it exciting and motivated to not only do our best like we would always, but to put a little extra into it. The passion that I have as a person that cares about sports, especially soccer, and with my family, just adds to that.
A soccer family, Caitlin's wife is a high school soccer coach. They hope their 3 children will grow up in a world where gender is not a barrier and not a factor at all.
They have 2 moms. It's just what do you want to be like who is it that you like, who you are, and it's not oh, you're a boy, you need to do this, or you're a girl, you need to do this. And if anything, like we're showing that in our way, like we're doing things that maybe is male dominated, but it's not about gender. It's about what you're passionate about or what you're qualified for, and they see that every day.
I graduated from Kansas State University with a degree in construction science and management.
Building is in Cassie Morrison's bones.
Yes, bleed blue. Growing up with my dad, he would take us to different sites.
Her dad and her mom worked for J.E. Dunn. Dad is a builder, mom a secretary. Morrison considered a career in cosmetology, but construction and that pedigree ultimately won. Her role, project manager.
We write contracts, price it all out, give budget updates to the owner.
And this place, Morrison says, is just where she fits, along with more women, she hopes.
We make a big push within the construction business to include women. I mean, the perspectives are there that help drive, and men are starting to understand that that other perspective is important to have within a team in our business.
Not at all unlike the team for which this stadium she has a big part in building stands.
If somebody would have asked me about that being in Kansas City 5 years ago, maybe I would have said, it's a possibility, but I would not have said, yeah, that's gonna happen, or somebody should make that happen, and the Longs and the Mahomes have made it happen, and it's so cool.
Staking a claim to connecting the current with the future, not just of women's sports, but women.
We want to be treated equally. I mean, we shouldn't want special treatment. We should want the same treatment.
A picture-perfect scene rises over CPKC Stadium.
I'm so excited.
These fans aren't missing a moment.
I couldn't sleep last night.
Feeling real good.
I'm trying not to cry.
I'm going to see the girls play soccer.
Next on KMBC 9 Chronicle, we skip to the front of the line.
Well, we're going to have a great crowd.
While a group of trailblazers waits in the wings. They're known as the 85ers. See their moment in the spotlight decades past due.
The 2024 NWSL season kicks off today.
It's empowering. It's all about the women today.
Going from playing at a high school to their own stadium.
I've been looking forward to this all week.
This is history.
The quality and the standard is as high as it gets.
Spent way too much money in the store.
It is amazing to be with you all, to be with Patrick and Brittany and Angie and my family and the whole Kansas City Current team.
History is about to be made officially as we open up the gates to our fans.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go, folks. Welcome to KC Current. Welcome to coming out today, folks.
It's women's history, why not? And Kansas City, I mean KC, baby.
Saturdays are for the girls.
Off the bus,
It's game day.
and into the future. Without what these women did in the past, it's arguable this, the first stadium built for a women's pro sports team in the world, would not be here today.
With the way things are going now with women's rights and things like that, for Kansas City Current to move this another step forward, for us is just thrilling. I mean, it's historical and it's thrilling, and we are so honored to be here and be a part of this.
These are the players of the 1985 U.S. Women's National Soccer Team, the first.
It's just so historic. It's really monumental. It's a day we've all been waiting for, to have this type of atmosphere, this facility. Yeah, it's wonderful.
We're taking it from
you guys?
Goalkeeper Ruth Harker taking it all in.
How do you feel?
I feel awesome.
How do you feel?
We were so excited almost 40 years ago to have, been selected to this, but who would have imagined that this is what it would evolve to?
Walking to the wall, honoring them at CPKC Stadium, the appreciation, the gratitude, the significance of what they did doesn't go unnoticed by fans, by women. This team of 17 in hand-me-down men's jersey shorts played in Italy, 3 losses, 1 draw, and history made.
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot.
Still, this now, hard to imagine then. This stadium, a first, just like the 85ers, but also way different.
The experience I think that we had was something that it's really hard to describe.
We were making $10 a day, and that we just were like, yay, more cheeses, right? I mean, we didn't understand really what we were embarking on.
You're standing on the field for the United States of America, right? And being the first team, right? And it was just getting present to that and just being there and realizing we were the first.
We're just playing to play, right? And when we showed up, if they said, hey, there was another game down the road or in the next town, or hey, we're gonna go to Italy in a couple of days, you guys wanna go? It's like, yeah, absolutely, just to go play.
No endorsements then.
Come on, French. She's a good girl, French is.
No payday outside of the love of the game that to this day pays dividends.
On 3, you guys, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
USA, USA, USA 85! The USA, USA, USA cheer, that was ours. That was the first U.S. women's national team. We thought they were saying something else.
They, the Italians, were shouting for USA, USA.
As we celebrate members of the first ever United States women's national soccer team.
Once again, together on the pitch, this team, these sisters in soccer, and so much more mark another moment in history.
Oh, this is surreal.
Emotionally, it's like you're on a high because you can't believe this is happening and that we were at the start of this, right? And just being at the start of anything is a unique experience, and only 17 of us will ever be able to experience that for women's soccer.
Well, on 3. 1, 2, 3. USA, USA, USA 85! Yeah.
Now, time to turn up the intensity.
Let's go!
Ahead on KMBC 9 Chronicle.
I know I am, I'm sure I am. I'm Casey till I die.
Recite those rally cries.
Everybody! What?
Then get trained in trash talk. We have an all-access pass to the Blue Crew with help from a few familiar faces.
We couldn't have asked for anything better.
Casey Mo. Oh.
See the game day experience for builders, engineers, coaches, parents, devoted fans, Kansas Cityans basking in their team's big moment.
It feels so good to finally get to walk through those gates.
It's every little girl's dream who plays a sport now that they can star in their own stadium. It wasn't a thing for me 30 years ago. Woo! I am so psyched. I'm so impressed. I'm glad to be home.
Kickoff just 13 minutes away.
It's unbelievable to be from Kansas City today.
This is our stadium. This is our home. We got with the bang. We hit them with the bang. We put a banger in the back of the net. It's
1, 2, 3,
We are underway here at CPKC Stadium. The Brazilian forward double team, switching the point of attack. Mace wide open.
That's a good ball.
Mace into the box. Left-footed shot goes just wide.
Just like all the work that the team has put into it and that we have put into all of this, it's been a long time coming, like for sure.
Dabinia wins it back. The goal is open. Dabinia chips it towards goal, and there it is! There it is! It's the first goal at CPKC Stadium.
I don't know if there are enough words, but the investment and the value that is being placed on women's sports by way of this incredible stadium is never been matched.
If we're the first, then we're setting it off.
I'm actually really glad that this is their normal. Like a year ago, they started playing sports, and now they're in a stadium built for women in Kansas City. So I'm glad that this is their experience.
I couldn't wait until it was finished.
Mace takes the throw in into the box. Bia takes a touch off her foot though over the end line. It'll be a goal kick for Portland.
Oh! We bought them as soon as they went live. We bought tickets because we support women's sports.
Oh, hammy. And then we, watch the team, play at Swope Park. They went to Utah. They come back. They play out at T-Bones or Monarch, and then at Sporting, and now here. And now Black goes back. So it's just like so full circle.
It's the first time her boys have ever watched women's sports. And it's what it's about. Like that's what this is about. Is it's changing the expectation for everybody that, of course, the boys are going to watch women's sports now. Everybody watches women's sports.
Especially being a woman that plays soccer as well, it's just monumental being here.
This isn't just a moment. This is a movement that we're proving is possible. Now that the world is seeing this on television and hearing about it and reading all the articles, now everybody knows what's possible, and I think it will change everything.
And it's a huge win for the Kansas City Current. Players embrace on the field. It's a standing ovation from the crowd. And the historic opening of CPKC Stadium has an incredible result in one of the best games you'll ever see. The Current beat the perennial power Portland Thorns 5-4.
KC, baby! What a way to open the world's first women's stadium. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts.
Thank you so much for coming.
This first game, a first win. They will keep coming. After all, Kansas City's sports dynasty finally has a pitch fit for a queen.